So Gareth, we've spoken before on some of these videos about the way that good organizations bring their young graduates in. And one of the things that they do very early on is expose them to the world of sales, and they train them thoroughly in how to be great salespeople. Sadly, often that's one of the only moments that happens, and it's not until much later in their careers where that may be expanded. But one of the phrases that you hear bandying around about the customer is that the customer is always right. Now, I have some personal views on the validity of that statement. I'm curious to know a little bit more about your perspective and experience in that area.
Yeah, you often hear those phrases, customers always right, customers king, or, sales is easy, just give them, what they want. And I find that deeply frustrating, frankly, because, if I think about and take that to extreme, I'm a customer, I want everything for nothing. Ultimately, that's not in my best interests, and it's also not in your best interests, assuming that we want some form of long-term relationship in terms of business partnership. So I find those things quite frustrating.
And within the context of that frustration, one thing I find quite interesting is that people tend to make some pretty strong assumptions about what it is that their customers value, and by definition, what they value would be what they need. How well do you think that people in our profession really know their customers, and how much of it is conjecture or assumption?
Yeah, and I think there's two aspects to this. I think, first of all, you're absolutely right. There's an aspect of how much do we know their customer, how much do they know their customers' needs, but there's also how well do they actually know their own businesses, and even if they know it really well, how can they articulate that simply, clearly, and easily so that their customer can actually understand what they do? So there's something there about really understanding their own business, and then how can we actually understand how those things that we can do as an organization can help solve our customers' problems. The other aspect, which you mentioned quite rightly, is too often we make assumptions that our customers know what we do without actually engaging with them. And ultimately, our customer doesn't really care what we do. What they care about is what we can do for them in terms of helping them solve their issues and helping them solve their problems. It's not our products and services that are important, it's how they benefit them and what problems they solve.
So, the watchword here is really curiosity, not assuming. That sounds very easy for us to say, but actually having a real understanding that we do not have a deep understanding of our customers' needs and that they change frequently. And to do that, we need to engage, and we need to be asking great questions and listening, as we said many times before. Thank you, Gareth.